Okay, it's been a while. Finally got some time to make a video. So let's take a look at this. This is a new release that's coming on the 28th. This is part of my new record label called Just Underground Recordings. And this is a track that actually was put together in a very interesting way. So I wanted to give you a sense of how that happened. And I'm going to take a look, and there are two particular ingredients that I think really made this happen. One was the Atlas plugin. I'll show you that soon. That uses AI to find samples that work together. And then the other thing was Grant Nelson's Studio Essentials collection. What I did was I took his whole collection and ran it through Atlas to essentially grab stuff together that, according to the AI, would work. And it was a really interesting experience. So the end result is this track, and this is being road tested by a few DJs at the moment, getting some fantastic results. And this is coming on the 28th of February on Traxsource as a download exclusive. Okay, so let's take a look. I'll leave it running in the background. The first aspect of this that was put together using Atlas was the beats. I'm just going to open up Atlas here now. So this was a drum kit that was put together by the plugin, which is crazy because I usually pick my own drum samples, but I don't have as much time to make music as I used to, so little pockets of an hour here or there where I can do this. So a tool like this is a godsend. So I'm just going to stop the music for the moment, and what you see is this map, and I've done a video about this. It was a while back, and I can't remember what I used in terms of the libraries, but as I said to you, I took Grant's complete collection, and there's some really great sounds in there, both drum sounds, chord sounds, all kinds of samples. And you can see how this has been categorized, and so you can navigate around the map. It's picking out sounds that it thinks relate to shakers, and across the map here, they're all different things. It morphs into hi-hats over here, open hats, claps, and so on. But the really interesting stuff was the non-drum sample stuff. So these were clustered together. And I found this a really interesting way to explore the library. Instead of focusing on file names and thinking about the words that you're seeing and how they relate to your composition, it's purely clicking on circles. And sometimes the combinations that come back are very, very interesting. So I went on this journey of clicking these samples, and I ended up getting a combination of elements. And so the beats, let me just show you here. I'm going to open it up so you can see the programming. Let me solo. What I'll do is I'll fold it down so you can see all the actual drums here. So let's take it from the top on this section. The other thing, I had to route the outputs of this separately because I thought I didn't want to have everything in the stereo out of Atlas. So if you click on these, you can see that I've got different outputs. So this is going up incrementally. So we've got the kick on 1, and I've got here, I said incrementally, but it's plainly not. So the snare's on 4, and it goes down to 3. This is crazy. It's all over the place. But don't let that worry you. This is a drum mat that was created by the software. And to make sure that I get everything here, I'm going to click on these other outputs. So I routed these out as separate audio outputs. So there we go. There's the drums on their own outputs. And literally what's happening here is that I'll show you on the mixer. We've got these elements, and there's not a lot going on. On one of these, I've got some reverb. In fact, 2, I've got reverbs as inserts, 3. And on every channel, I've got the BX SSL 4000G, which is I use it for gelling things together. So on every channel, it makes it sound as if it's going through that G series depth of the SSL. So that kit came from Atlas. So that plugin decided on the drum sound. I love that. I think that's just amazing. Some of you are thinking, yeah, it's cheating, but come on. I mean, how many kits have I made over the years where I've chosen it? And like I said, I'm really low on time at the moment. So it's a miracle I'm even making the video. So there we go. So there's the drums. Now, the other thing I want to focus on is the chords. So these chords, I used the Atlas again. So let's just take a look over here. And Atlas is basically running on this first track, and that's where I ended up with this selection of chords. So you can see them all mapped onto these different drum cells. And I'm going to solo that. Let's take all of this off, and you can have a listen. Okay, so the random combination of samples. I love that because it's definitely not strictly musical. There's a slight tuning difference between these, almost like one of them's slightly out, and I love that fact because it adds a little kind of twist to it. So this is progressing, and there's a next batch of samples that are triggered, and what I did, I just took the same sequence that you can see here and I transposed it up. So the pattern is exactly the same, but it's new samples. So we're going to go to that now. There we go. So that in a way is cheating, but I love these little workflow tricks that enable you to do stuff quickly and easily. So remember, I put that riff in, and then what I did, I just copied it over and I transposed it up so it's on the next bank of 4 samples. And this is a classic technique that's been used over the years in different ways, but it really suits this Atlas. So in order to get the mix sounding good, what I did is I mapped those all on the individual outputs. And then this is it all in context. And it's nice because we get this kind of alternating, almost call and response kind of vibe with the composition. And this is something we've heard before, but now we've got a new vocal on there. And in fact, the vocals really spice up the track. And these were from Loop Masters. And these are part of the vocal libraries that Loop Masters have got. So you want to check out Loop Cloud. It's a wicked platform for getting hold of things like this. And this has got a real kind of, I think this was from a trap collection, which is a bit unusual really, but I thought it really suited it. So we've got a call and response thing, alternating between the sections. Some electronic sweeps to create transitions in different sections. So it's a very simple composition. Once again, I'm not using a lot of elements. You can really see that here. And I love the vibe on this, and I'm getting some fantastic responses from DJs on this, so really looking forward to this coming out. So 28th of February, Just Underground Recordings, and it's a brand new label, and it's going to be download exclusive on tracksource.com. So yeah, a little kind of flip here where the beats drop out, and then they come back fairly soon, so over here. And it's just a little simple kind of breakdown. No big build up on this track at all. It's just a real kind of vibe. Not meant to be the big tune of the night, but it's just like a nice vibe at the right time. So the other thing that I'm doing at the moment, I'm going to show you my master. I've just got a VX. I did put a little bit of a DIY master thing here, but I just feel with these releases, I wanted to put it in the hands of an expert. So the finished track has been mastered by Stuart Kettridge of Southeast Studios, and he's got loads of really great analog gear. So what I did, I just made sure that I wasn't too hot on the master, giving some headroom of minus 6 dBs, sent it over to him and he worked his magic. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm a little bit, I'm not used to making videos anymore, so this is probably a little bit sketchy, but I'm just excited. I have some time to be able to do this, and please don't expect lots of videos. I just don't get the time. But anyway, hopefully I'll be able to get a couple of videos done about some other releases. So 5 releases, Just at Underground Recordings, 28th of February. And the concept of the label is seasonal. All right, so the winter catch up, we're a bit late with it, but 5 recordings are going to come out on 28th to catch us up for winter. And then what's going to happen is over spring, they're going to be incremental releases, so 1 at a time. And then for each season, there's going to be a hazard release, which is like a DJ tool. It's got like very distinctive yellow and black stripes. And then there's a white label, which gives me the freedom to kind of pick kind of random kind of tracks. So the core release is always going to fit the theme of the label, but with a seasonal variation. So we're going to make things have a different vibe and a different color on the labels as we go through the seasons. And that's going to establish a rhythm throughout the year. You're going to see it happen. And I'm really looking forward to that because it gives me the ability to kind of program stuff with a certain vibe. So anyway, that's it. 28th of February, Just Underground Recordings. This particular track is called Reel to Reel, and that's REEL to REAL. And yeah, really looking forward to it. So I can't promise anything, but if you do have any questions, I'll try to respond in the comments. Can't wait for the whole thing to come out. And thanks to everybody for the support so far.